Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So glad each and every one of you can make it. Tonight we're going to have just a little bit of fun with this. So you got to stick around and find out. It's nothing major. Again, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, it's nothing major. I've got two extra ones of these that's loose, and this one is kind of in a rough shape, as you can see by that casting, or by that spot right there on the paint. But I'm going to put this up on my shelf behind me in my Mooneyes section, because this is a Mooneyes car. But I already have one up there that looks exactly like this, but I want to do something a little different with this one. And what I mean by that is I just want to do a little bit of detailing. Maybe drill out the exhaust, paint the brake lights, paint the door handles, the front grille, and the headlights, and maybe even the air filter. Just add a little detail, make it a little more personal. I'm not going to switch the wheels at this time. I may later on. Might even do this as a wheel swap video. We'll see. But for right now, I just want to have some fun with it. Haven't even touched. It's messed up on this side too. Haven't even touched the Hot Wheel as far as working on one in over a week now, and I want to get back to it a little bit. So yeah, let's start. I've got some red, I've got silver, I've got white, and I have a white paint pen too if I need it for the air filter. So let's get started. Need a paper towel. Try to do most of this on camera. I'm not going to show you the whole step. I'll show you me starting it and then going from there. Alright, getting everything together. Now, what I used to do, fine detail work, is toothpicks, as you can see by the tips of all these. The reason for it is you can make them as small, as short, as long, as pointed as you need to, as you want to. You can cut them in half. You can do whatever you need to do to them to make them work for your particular job. And that's what's so great about using them. Let's see. Let's start off with taillights on this one. As you can see, they're defined. So if I really wanted to get technical with these, I could do them in silver and then touch the middle of them with red. And I think that's what I'm going to do in this case. So we take our silver, shake it up as always, and I don't need the bottle. Let me get a rag out of here real quick. I don't need the bottle of paint. I just need the cap of paint. There's more than enough in this cap to do everything I want to do. Plus, you don't want to turn that over. All you have to do is just take it, dip the tip in it, put it on there and kind of drag it. See, it goes on there really easy. I don't try to get every single square inch of it. I get as much of it as I can, of course, but I don't try to get every little smidge, because that's when you start going on to the paint. Then you have to get out the lacquer thinner, which in my case is out in the storage building. And it's raining, so that's a no. But you just keep poking and prodding with it until it quits moving with the toothpick. And then you go back and reload the toothpick. Now we'll let that dry for just a minute and do something else, and then we'll come back and hit it with the red right in the middle. We'll just add a little bit of red on there. While we're waiting on that to dry, we'll go ahead and hit the door handles. I'm going to do the door handles too. And I always use something extra, like a body part or something, to try to give me extra support, because I'm starting to get to where I shake a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to get everything, because if you try to go all the way up against that paint and that crack, you'll end up getting it on the paint. Whenever I want to try to get close, I try to tilt it the way that I want the paint to run, and I'll put a little bit of extra paint on the toothpick. And most of the time it'll run right down, but look how much better that looks with that door handle painted. Now let's do the other side. Same thing. But toothpicks make it so easy, because like I said, you can make it any shape you need to get into any kind of hole or crevice or weird shape, whatever you need it for. And tester's paint doesn't like to be brushed on anyway. You try to brush some tester's paint on, you're just asking for a mess. Now I've got that on there. I'll tilt it just a little bit so I can put more paint on it, and hopefully it runs back and meets that red paint. If it doesn't, get a little bit more. And that's all there is to it. Look how good it looks just with the door handles done. Look how much better that looks. And right now I could probably go touch up that red, but I'm going to let it sit for just a second. So let me close this up so I don't knock it over or it starts to dry out or whatever. And we'll be right back. Alright, got all that taken care of. Now let's do the red. And most of the time these tester's paints, the only one I have found that didn't do it was the silver. Most of the time, the liner, the seal, the gasket, whatever you want to call it, sticks to it. But like always, we don't need the whole bottle. I don't need to knock it over. But seriously, I don't need that much paint. I just need a dab for what I'm fixing to do, and I mean literally a dab. Again, just a little bit on there, and we're going to go right in the middle. And quit shaking. Just like so. Doesn't have to be straight. Doesn't have to be perfect. I told you I'm starting to shake. I don't know. Get rid of this daggum piece of lint or whatever that is. I think I'm going to just try to move that red around a little bit. There we go. Much better. Look how good that looks already. I mean, just look at how good that looks. And we're going to give it a minute to dry, because it doesn't take just a minute for the paints, these tester's paint to dry to where you can go over or whatever. But I'm going to leave that as is. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on the back and I'm going to drill out that exhaust, and then we'll probably paint it silver too, at least the pieces coming out the back. Now I still have it drying. I have one of these pin vices, and what I want to do is I'm going to start with the smallest one, and that may be the only one I need for this particular one. Yeah, that smallest one will be the only one I need. Go ahead and put the other ones up so number one, I don't drop them and lose them, but they're not in my way. I think I have the correct tip in this to hold this drill bit. Yeah. Yep. And this just adds a little bit more detail, a little bit more realism. I don't know how good I'm going to get this on camera, but you try to stay in the middle of it as much as you can. Get it there and just kind of give it a gentle push to start the bit. And you don't have to go deep. For it to add, hey Coop, for it to add a whole bunch of realism. Look how much better it looks. Now, of course, I'm going to go a little deeper than that. But let me get these two drilled out and then we'll be right back. I said, you have to go in far. I'm not even going in a 1/16 of an inch. I mean, I'm not going far at all. But look how much more real that looks. Now, granted, I got that one off. Sometimes you just can't help it because of the way the plastic does as you start drilling on it. Look how much better that looks. Put this back up so I don't have a mess on my workbench. Just set it over to the side for right now. Now, I could use chrome paint, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the silver since we have it out. Same principle, but first I'm going to go around the edge. Look how real that looks now. Try not to get it in the hole, because if you get it in the hole, then you're going to try to fill the hole to coat it. Look how good that looks. Just from the back. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Now we're just going to take it and do the same thing that we did to the rest of it. Paint the whole exhaust. Alright, there's that. Look how good that back looks now compared to when we started. Oh my goodness. So much better. Now we're going to do the air filter, I believe, and then we'll finish up with the front end. The reason I could get better angles and everything, laying it down on the paper towel to paint it and be a lot more sturdy. The only problem is sometimes you have to change your angle. Number one, let me wipe this off. And number two, this paint isn't dry as we're handling this truck. So we have to pay close mind to what we're doing so we don't touch the areas that we just painted or anything like that. Otherwise, we'll mess it up or even get it on our finger or hand and get it on the whole car. And we do not want that. As you can see, it does get on our fingers, but this is dry. So I don't have to really worry about it. I have these white paint pens. I know I have silver and gold and all those colors too, but I just like a lot of people use the Sharpie markers to do the exhaust, and I do too, but you don't have as good a control over that as you do this. But these I got at the $1.25 tree, and you can see how fine of a tip they have. Now once you push down on it, it kind of spreads open, but we're not going to be pressing down, so. See if we can get this to work. Trying to do this without getting it all over everything. See how much better it looks already? Now for the hardest part. I'm going to try to paint that grille silver. I might be biting off more than I need to, but I'm going to try it. Wish me luck. We'll be coming back and painting the middle of that white here in just a few minutes for the headlights. I wanted that chrome ring around the outside edge of it, so that's why I'm doing this part first and then doing the headlights. And if I can go across this top without making a bloody mess. Might be shaking too bad to do this tonight, but you get the gist of it. You see how easy it is to transform the way a vehicle completely looks with just a little bit of time and a bottle of paint and a couple of toothpicks. Just like that. Look how much better the front end of that truck looks. Holy cow. Now we gotta let it dry for a minute and then we'll do the white for the headlights. Alright, giving it a few minutes. Now I'm just going to try to touch just the center of the headlights, that raised part. That's all I want to get. I already tell you I got too much paint on that. There's something about this white. I don't know if it's the pigments or what. But it seems to dry super quick. It gets kind of tacky the instant you touch it. That's what we're looking for. See if I can get lucky with this one. What do you think? Nice little details. Nothing major, nothing a bunch, but it just makes it more personal. Makes it more yours, if that makes sense. I could try to get those headlights perfect, but I mean, it's for me. It's not going anywhere. I think that's perfect enough. But look at just how much different that front end looks compared to the way we started. So that's all you got to do. Just a couple little things of paint. Your whatever paint you want to use. A couple of toothpicks or even paint brushes if that's what you prefer. And you can change the way a car looks. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to show, like I said, number one, I want to change the way mine looks. And I wanted to show how easy it is for anybody to do this. I mean, I'm sitting here shaking like a dog tonight, and I still pulled that off. And I'll give you a side-by-side here in just a second to show the difference. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.